Hello, everybody. Welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, we're back Monday night. Look back at a classic rock album. I have a metal one for you today, Ozzy Osbourne's Diary of a Madman. This is his second studio album, and the last studio album to feature Randy Rhoads. Now, Randy Rhoads did play on an EP, and I personally can't remember if the EP came before this album or after. I think it came before, but I'm just guessing. I owned the EP at one point. I think it's probably his best thing. But for today, we're doing Diary of a Madman from Ozzy Osbourne. This was released in October of 1981. Was recorded at Ridge Farm Studio in Rusper, England. It's about 43 minutes in length. Was fairly lengthy at that time period. On Jet Records, and produced by Max Norman, Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads, and Bob Daisley, who was actually not credited on here. And there's a bit of that going on here. So, appearing, of course, Ozzy on lead and backing vocals, Randy Rhoads on guitar, Bob Daisley on bass, and Lee Kerslake on drums on this. Now, some of the reissues not credited. So there's a few people, and I'm a little confused by this. Randy Sarzo was on the original release, but wasn't credited. I believe that's what happened. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it wasn't on the reissue. Tommy Aldridge, Don Airey, the same thing. Johnny Cook did keyboards instead of Don Airey, but he wasn't credited for it. Lindsey Bridgewater did keyboards on the 2011 live disc only. And then you had Robert Trujillo on bass and Mike Borden on drums on the 2002 edition, which I believe was a record. Like they recorded the bass and drum tracks on those albums and put these two in because, to be honest with you, wherever Sharon Osbourne's involved, I always expect the worst. I'm pretty sure that it was her, based on a little bit of reading and stuff about who said what and what was done. I get the impression she didn't like those two. They took her to court and won, so she had them removed off the album and put two new musicians on there playing the stuff. I think there was a little bit of backlash from the Ozzy Osbourne followers. Now, all this is just stuff that I've read in different places. I don't know if any of it's true. It's hard to know half the time what's going on. However, this is a good album. So we're going to be talking about this album today. This is his second album. I think his first album is probably my favorite, but I know when these two albums came out, the first one and the second one, this one I liked better at the time. So at this point in time, I'm not really sure which one I like better. The original one has probably more, the Blizzard of Oz probably has more songs that I like on it, but this one has a couple of songs I really like. So it has the Over the Mountain, which is kind of similar to I Don't Know on the first album. Very fast pace, some real shredding guitar here if you want. And Randy Rhoads is one of those guitarists that came out at this period of time when shredding was just taking off. This is a great tune. Really heavy. Ozzy's voice is great on it. It's fast paced. It's very much like I Don't Know a lot of ways. Then you got the Flying High Again, which is the kind of the hit on here, similar to Crazy Train was. Crazy Train was a little bit different in its guitar style. This one here is more straightforward, a much better kind of, I guess, a thicker, beefier song is what you want to hear. Where Crazy Train had that kind of catchy feel to it, but I think this song overhaul is probably a better song. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll. It's a decent track, a little bit slower paced, more anthemic, I guess. It's a really good song. Believer is one of those tunes I liked a lot initially, not so much now. It's got that heavy bass part at the beginning, which I really like. Little Dolls, it's a song that I never really warmed up too much. Tonight is a good track. And then you got SATO, which is killer, and it's killer on here. I just think it's a fantastic song, really scrapey guitar sounds, lots of nice stuff. And then you finish off with the title track, which is Diary of a Madman. This is a melodic, heavy, just great guitar stuff on this as well. It's fantastic. Probably his first two albums were his best two albums. Given any day of the week, I could choose this one or Blizzard of Oz. I think I probably like Blizzard of Oz more just because there's more tracks on it that I like. This one, though, has Over the Mountain and Sato, S-A-T-O, and Little Dolls and The Believer, which are all songs that I really quite like a lot. So really catchy album. For its time period, it's actually not too bad. It has its good points and its bad points. It sounds dated at times, but not as dated as some albums I've heard. So I like it. The only thing about it is the album cover is okay and the back cover is okay, but I think the Blizzard of Oz is probably a better cover. So anyways, there you have it. Diary of a Madman from Ozzy Osbourne, going all the way back to 1981. Yeah, so 43 years ago. 42 and a half at the moment because it hasn't got to October, but excellent album. If you are deciding whether you want to listen to Ozzy or not, this would be one of the two that you should go and get. And this is for me, this was the one that was really cemented him as a icon to me, an icon for me. I don't know if he's an icon for everybody else. Anyway, so there you go. Ozzy Osbourne's Diary of a Madman here on Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. If you've liked this episode, please hit like and subscribe. Any comments about the album, Ozzy, myself, or anything, you can put in the comment section below. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell, and we will be back next Monday on Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. So take care. Bye.